This week on The Big Room.
I love the detail that Carl went to, and I'm over here just like, man, the dick jokes are funny.
Well, that's the thing. This movie, it works on so many levels. It's funny on the surface, and you can also find. I think it holds up because of the story structure. So it's got, it's not just
Holds
a
up,
dumb.
Yeah, there's a real story there.
It holds up to in part
Yeah.
just because of who the cast is,
And the
what
pacing
they
is really
became.
good.
It's pretty smart for a profoundly stupid movie.
Yeah.
All right. In 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the big room where Nick has, as of yet, not ordered an Apple Vision Pro.
Not yet.
We are.
Good for you.
That thing is $3,500, and if you buy one, I think we have to beat you up.
Listen, I am going to watch videos on this for the next 6 months, and I think I'm probably just going to end up buying a MetaQuest because I'm going to have the itch.
But it's the shit you already have, the Quest.
I sold mine, so it'll be new.
Oh,
you know?
your dad still have the one he dropped on the floor?
No,
Oh, no.
I should have sold it to him.
All right,
Here's the
well,
one he damaged.
well, we are Sausage Fest today, much like the movie we watched.
Yep.
I know that we said last week that we were going to watch. What was it? Carl, you actually watched
Cinderella.
I watched it, and I
No,
will
it
not
wasn't
watch it again.
Cinderella. It was
It was
Ever
after Cinderella's story,
Ever
everlasting.
After, I don't know.
Something.
Some crap. Danielle
Danielle's
and
in the
I.
other room just shaking her fist
yeah.
in the air.
No, she's
It's
not. She's-
hilarious. Yeah, the one girl movie, and we're like, no, we're doing this one instead. Like,
yeah, that's what. She's actually not on the show anymore. No, I'm just kidding. So Danielle and I were both at. I was at a bachelor party and she was at a bachelorette party for flip sides of the same couple, and she got really sick because she didn't take her vitamins and wash her hands, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been quarantining on this side of the house, sleeping across the hall in an air mattress, not in it, on an air mattress,
Just climbing in.
on the floor because we got rid of our bed, our spare bed, and she's not allowed in the kitchen. I wipe everything down in the house like daily. I'm taking
Smart.
like ass loads of vitamin C, and I have not gotten sick
Suppositories?
so far. Do what?
What?
I just said suppositories.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
an
yeah.
ass load. So stupid.
I'm butt chugging Tang. Imagine. No, knock on wood or whatever this is made of. I haven't gotten it yet, and it's been like 4 days, so I'm feeling pretty good.
That's got to be the right time.
Probably in the clear. Yeah.
Feeling pretty good. Yesterday was rough. Today she seems a little better. Like I'm hoping maybe by Sunday she'll be good. All that to say, we did not watch her movie because it's her movie, and imagine the three of us trying to talk about a Cinderella movie without the person whose fault it is. And the fact that Carl said he won't watch it again. Wow, foreshadowing. So what we did watch.
It'll be an interesting episode.
Well, no, I want to talk about two things really quick. Skip ahead if you hate me, listeners. I want to talk about the bachelor party for a minute. Two things I wrote down. One, I wrote down plain phone call guy. So we flew to Louisville from Jacksonville. So short flight, but we had layovers both ways in Atlanta, which sucked. When we finally landed in Louisville, I swear to God, the second the wheels hit the ground on the plane, this dude got on the phone, like on a loud phone call, and was like mad about something, like doing some business crap, and just was so loud and annoying. And I only wrote down plain phone call guy, but I think it was on Discord or texting somebody saying that we as a society should be allowed, nay, required, to beat the shit out of that guy.
You're required.
Because that's just uncorrigible. Like, it's awful. That's being the worst kind of person. Like, we're not even, like, we haven't even taxied. We're like, and he's on the phone like, business, I can't hear you. Yeah, we're in a tube with people. Like, we're in a tube of humanity, and this guy's like, now's the best time. Yeah. This can't wait 5 minutes. And I wanted to hit that guy with my fist.
He waited for 2 hours. He wasn't going to wait a second longer.
I guess so, but the other 170 of us should have been able to kick the crap out of him. I don't know.
I agree. Did he also stand up immediately? Was he one of those people?
No, lots of people were stand up
those are the
immediately
worst, too.
guys, though. And we we had no reason to be because first of all, we were in the actual back of every plane, and they don't have enough cubby overhead space for carry-ons. And because we boarded last, because we were, the freaking proletariat, we all the bins were full, so they ended up checking our bags for free at the gate.
Nice.
So we just didn't have our bags, which was great actually, because we had a 3.5-hour layover in Atlanta, and then we didn't have bags. That's pretty cool. And then because of that, when we left Louisville, it gave us the option to check them for free, like straight up front, and we were like, "Yup, just put them on." And the only downside to that was
waiting to get them.
We were the 3 of the last 5 bags off the plane,
of course,
at baggage claim. When we wanted to be home, so that sucked. Another thing I want to talk about my hand, because I don't know if y'all can see it. I hurt you really can't. There's a little bit of red there. I hurt my finger.
Oh no. That's kind of
so bad. We found this bar near our Airbnb house. So there's 8 of us guys. We were in Louisville for the Bourbon Trail. We hit 7 distilleries in 2 days.
Dang.
3 tours. 3 tours. 3 the first day, 2 tours and 1 tasting. But every tour had a tasting too. And then the second day we did it in reverse. We did 3 tastings, 1 tour. I don't want bourbon for 1,000 years.
Well, you just had them all.
I know. I just had them all. But near our Airbnb, there was this dive bar, like this pool bar, like billiards, not like swimming. And it had 25 tables, and they were playing $20,000 pool tournaments. And it was the dudes that had leather quivers for their cues, and the try hard 3-finger pool gloves, real it's cold and miserable and we're all racist but we love pool kind of vibes because we're in Kentucky, the cesspool of America.
Yep,
it's the worst place I've ever been.
If you have all that stuff and you miss a single shot, it should be taken away.
But it was 50 feet from our front door, so we were there every night. In fact, the first day we were there 3 times. We made friends with the bartenders, and they had a dartboard. So we played darts, and it was 40 cents a minute or 40 cents an hour or something like that, just to get money out of you.
Widely different price points.
No, it was 40 cents a minute, and it ended up we paid $40 the first time because we played darts for 3 or 4 hours. You do that math, and it'll be wrong.
Fact check.
But whatever. So we're playing darts, and this is the last night we were at this bar. We went to a different bar the last actual night we were there because there was football. And they got shots for everybody. We the whole bachelor party did a round of shots. I am a little tipsy at this point and playing darts, and it's my turn. And someone puts a shot of, it was some kind of just flavored vodka, whatever. It was probably 35% alcohol. It wasn't a lot, but I had been drinking. And someone puts a shot in front of me. I just took it and went and played my darts. Apparently...
Oh no.
That's a party foul. When a whole group has shots and you don't do the cheers, and I just shot it. And so what are you doing? And I'm like, you put liquor in front of me. I'm drinking it at this point. I got to throw my darts. My punishment was then, as the group shot, I had to do 2 doubles.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
And I just went back to playing darts. And then about
nothing to it.
30 minutes later, I was like, "That
oh, no.
No, I just went, that's enough. I'm done." I was done drinking. I knew that if I drank anymore at that point, vomit was going to happen. And I already knew I was in for a hangover. So I was like, while I can still be mobile, I'm done. And I just had 5 waters or whatever. About 1:30 in the morning, I was like, I'm tired, dude. Our first day was a 20-hour day. I think this was day 2 that this happened. Again, we've had a million distilleries. I think this is the first distillery day, but second day of the trip. I went back to the house by myself. I was like, I'm tabbing out.
Nice.
This place was my favorite because they had $2 Busch Lights. So I just had a $4 tab. And I walked back to the house. It's, -1 degree outside or whatever. I walked back to the house. And this is where my hand comes into play. I'm going to take a shower. And I'm getting my... we had one little stupid sink with no cabinet or anything. So my toiletries bag had to come in and out with me every time I took a shower or whatever. So I went to the bathroom to grab it, and then I dropped I think it was my toothpaste or something on the floor, and I went to quickly grab it and punch the bed frame. Like really hard. And then I'm just flowing blood because it fell next to the bed and I just went to grab it as it was falling still. And I just went too close to the bed and I like knifed my hand with the bed frame. So then I'm bleeding 5 shots and I get in the shower and I'm like, whatever. And I'm taking a shower and I took like a water with a liquid IV in it in the shower and I'm drinking that or whatever. And then the shower curtain fell on my head. And so I put it back up, or I tried to put it back up I got it back up once and then it fell.
Blood running down your arm.
Yeah. Blood everywhere. And it fell again as I got out of the shower. Cause it was one of those like tension rods, but this one had a set screw. So you like set a length that's just short and then you twist it and it goes the way. When it fell, it like pushed itself in past that set screw. So there was no way to make it long enough. And I just went, not my problem. And I went to bed and they all came in apparently at 3:30 in the morning. I didn't hear them. I was out and I got up at noon the next day because it was not distillery day that day. That's
what a night.
That was my night. I texted the group a picture of my bloody hand. I just said I'm fighting my demons out here.
I thought it was going to be a dart related.
No dart related injuries. Although
2 double shots through a dart through your own hand somehow.
Something. No, but there was these broads that kept being like sorry, walking in front of us, and they did it 5 times in one night, and we're like
in front of the dartboards.
Yeah. In between us, like, dude, ready to throw ups and like walking in front of us. It was just dumb, but stupid. So, no, let's get to the movie. I'll stop yakking. I swear to God, and if we hadn't had a planned month, I would have just talked for an hour about this. Bachelor Parties is crazy. We watched Superbad. This is what Carl has picked. He had 2 movies in mind, and he was going to wax poetic about them at the end of what would have been this episode and had us pick one. And then he just picked one because it was yesterday we had to come up with this because she just wasn't getting well quick enough. And even if she felt better, her voice is chopped. Ugh. Nobody wants to hear an hour of like just because she can't.
Drew Barrymore's so awesome.
I love Drew Barrymore. Like she just her throat's done from talking. So we made the audible last night. It was up between The Life Aquatic and Superbad, and I would have rather watched not Superbad.
Oh no!
No. On the surface level,
be able to formulate thoughts about Life Aquatic in a meaningful way in that time. I was like, "There's no way I can really do this justice." Whereas Superbad, I felt like we could probably,
and you were like,
at least at a surface level, and dive in possibly.
Legit torn between the two. Like they both. They both are level of a movie
very
for
well. They're like diametrically opposed.
Right.
But I'll be second guessing this decision for a long time. But
Well, I do just put Life Aquatic on the list later down the.
No,
I think if we do like an indie month or something like that, but it's definitely worth a watch.
I mean, Wes Anderson and Bill Murray, I'm locked in.
I do want to watch Wes Anderson. I've never seen anything of his.
I've only seen Fantastic Mr. Fox at Tyler's house. So this movie, for some reason, whenever I hear this title, the image I get in my head is the poster for Kick-Ass, which is not this movie. So you said Superbad, and I'm
thinking
all those movies are
auto-corrected.
Yeah,
all those movies are kind of the same though.
Yeah,
like this era
they strike
of
a
comedy.
similar tone. Yeah, I could see that.
Pineapple Express,
Apatow, kind of. Yeah.
21 Jump Street.
Yeah.
Which actually Superbad was
Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, all those kind of over the top kind of raunchy comedies.
Superbad, I believe, was the most successful school comedy, like comedy based around a school, until 21 Jump Street.
I believe it.
So Jonah Hill ruling the school comedy genre.
He really is.
So, this
couldn't be more different than the role he played in Moneyball.
Right.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Right. And I loved Moneyball. I like.
He's still an underdog, but he's not nearly as bright. Yeah, he's got range, man. He's got just impeccable comedic timing.
Yeah. So this movie was written by Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg, who wrote it when they were kids or in college or something.
Yeah.
And then Seth, I guess, was originally supposed to be
Seth.
Right. But
they wanted to play themselves, from what I understand.
Right. But then they were like, "We're very old.
Yep.
So we need younger us's."
they wrote the movie like about their lives as it was happening.
Yeah, in 2000, I think. The
Yeah.
movie it had a 7-year production. It started writing in 2000, and they were filming in 06, 07, and it came out in 07.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw an interview where Seth Rogen was like, yeah, things would happen on one day, and then 3 days later, we had a script about it.
Yeah, which is nuts.
That's
So
hilarious.
it's like
yeah.
actually
To be
what
that
happened.
young and that go hard about it, or yeah.
He said that
interesting.
there's a scene at the beginning of the movie where he's telling a girl where, what's Michael Cera's character's name?
Evan.
Evan's telling a girl about this wild night he had where his friend's throwing up, and then they tried to go to a strip club and they got kicked out, and like apparently that was an actual night that happened almost identical for
Goodness
them, which is
gracious.
hysterical.
Interesting.
This movie's a weird one for me because, for one, this is another one where I feel like watching this during a period in your life is important, and I'm watching this as a almost 29-year-old who didn't go to high school.
Dude,
Well,
So
that's
that's a whiff
those
on
references.
that's a whiff on two fronts. I had no high school experience. I had no classroom experience until college. I was homeschooled.
it's funny to me. I was thinking about that during the movie. I was like, Cameron, for all he knows, schools just exist in movies.
Right. Right.
They're not real.
I've
Yeah.
never had a locker.
That's crazy.
I don't know what that means. You know what I mean? Like,
So
I
did
don't
this,
know.
did this land for you then, or was it a total whiff?
It wasn't a total whiff, but
It wasn't really about school that
no.
much. Though.
I will say I wasn't super into the first act,
Okay.
or half of the second act. But once we started
Okay.
picking up, basically once Fogel split off from the two, like after the whole liquor store debacle, once
Okay.
Fogel goes with the cops.
See, I counted all that in the first act.
Oh, I don't.
I had like
I don't
know
know
how to
act
actually break up a
structure.
movie. I
Yeah,
don't know
me either.
I spent a long time trying to. Yeah, I spent a long time trying. I had like 9 pages of notes because it was just me high and taking coffee and just writing everything that came to mind. And I've been
Jeez.
watching a lot of Harmontown, so
Yeah.
I'm very into the story circle right now. And I could not stop seeing spirals of story circles in this movie. So I was trying to like kind of go through and find these pivotal points throughout the movie where, because like, okay, I guess I'll talk about why I love this movie. One, it's hilarious, I think. Did you guys like enjoy it overall? Like, you think it was funny, or was it
I
totally?
did. I did
100%.
once it wrapped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick, what did you think?
No, it was hysterical from the beginning.
Okay, all right. So
Immediately
at least we have common ground there. But yeah, like, and did you guys have? Because this movie had a lot of like very specific references, like McLovin and like the dick drawings. Did you guys have any of that knowledge going into it, or was that complete
knew-
surprise when it happened?
I knew McLovin,
Okay.
and that's
Is
probably about
McLovin
it.
a reference to something or no?
I mean, I'm assuming it's a MacGuffin pun, but if they wrote it when they were 11, that's probably not true. But they had tons of rewrites, so maybe it's like an homage to that. Because it kind of is.
I knew of
Well-
McLovin just because one of the former Danettes from the Dan Patrick Show's nickname was McLovin because he kind of looks like him.
I'm sure it's
I know
tied to
the
some
memes
reference.
around McLovin.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, of course, the Hawaii
Yeah. Driver's license.
ID
The
is like,
ID.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, not drivers.
I didn't know about the dick drawings. That cracked me up.
What?
Yeah, that's it.
What made me
I'm
laugh?
so glad that y'all were able to kind of go blind into it because it feels like those punches hit a lot harder.
What made me laugh really hard about the ID, and I shouldn't have laughed this hard at it, but just the fact that he went with 25 instead of
Right.
21 was hysterical to
strategy.
me. Why would you not
Yeah.
do 21?
Or 22.
How many 21s do you think there are?
Do you know how many
Yeah.
21-year-olds there are in this town?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Oh man. So yeah, I love this movie. I think it is just hysterical. I think on the surface, the sort of hard candy shell is that it's kind of this crass, like needlessly
crass.
crude and kind of inappropriate comedy. But below that shell, there's like a lot of in the nougat and the caramel or whatever of the candy analogy that I'm
Twix
struggling
bar
with
that
right
is our
now.
lives.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of like really technical story structure, a really heartfelt message, I think, and there's a lot of character development. So it does that in a way that like, and it's typically like it's a coming of age teen comedy, right? We've seen that with American Graffiti, but this movie isn't as I want to say like stylized, but that's not the right word. It's not as like glossy, I guess. It doesn't paint as like pretty of a picture. It's more gritty and kind of like almost awkward and kind of authentic, and it's sort of dialogue and very like Pulp Fiction, where like the dialogue is very rough and kind of real feeling. So it's just not your typical like coming of age story, and I think the comedy is just so on point. But the let's see, I want to get into. Should we just dive into the plot?
Real quick, you mentioned American Graffiti, and I think that this movie reminded me of American Graffiti for two reasons. One, it is a single day movie. Like it takes place in one 24-hour period.
Yeah.
And for two, we both have the dichotomy of two friends who are not going to the same college. Or not thinking about going to college in the same way.
Yeah.
Those are the two things where I was like, this movie is very American Graffiti in that way.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the plot is not groundbreaking. It's very typical of these kind of movies. It's like, oh, we got to get booze for the party. It's very, I mean, on its surface, that's very much the plot. It's just we got to get booze. Like that's it. And then there's a lot of like nuance and subtext and stuff like that. But and
it's just stuff happening. It's the movie.
Yeah, it's
a very simple plot.
Some things happen,
as Nick said,
and then they stop happening.
Was it Big Lebowski?
Yeah. But it's set pieces around a major plot point. So there's not it's not a complicated plot. There's, even though we have a split party that fragments with Fogel and then later with Seth and Evan split as well, they're all doing the exact same thing. All of their goals are get booze to this party that we're invited to because we weren't invited to the other one. That's the whole movie, and it's a really simple movie when it comes to that. But yeah, we can go into the plot now. I think would be good.
Well, I mean, for my money, I'm calling it Act 1 because I don't know how to frame a movie, but it's basically like we meet Seth. He's got an old beat up car. He's fat. He's probably an underdog. He's not rich. He's not popular. He picks up his friend and they're talking about like their porn subscription, what they're gonna get and share.
Yeah.
Which one is crude and clues you into like, oh, this is a raunchy comedy, but it's also like kind of telling of their friendship. Like he's like, I don't know what I'm going to be into 10 years from now. Seth is in this like friendship for the long haul. He sees this lasting. And it's also to show that like, I looked way too into this movie. I should not get this high and watch movies. But even like the stuff that they're talking about at porn subscription, something that's usually kind of an isolated activity, these guys do everything together. So it's trying to show that like this friendship, these guys are very like, and when he picks them up from like, taking them to school, his mom's like, what are you guys going to do without each other? And he's like, oh yeah, we're going to cry ourselves to sleep. The big issue is that they're accepted to different colleges, like you said, and like they're in denial of like their real like appreciation for each other, and that is even happening. They're kind of like putting it out of their heads, like, we're not getting separated, we're not going to deal with this.
Well, it's a rejection of feelings.
Yes. And
Shut up, man. I'm allowed to voice crack. All right.
I didn't say anything.
I didn't even hear it.
I didn't say anything.
I'm allowed.
Yeah. All right. So that's kind of all the kind of introduction. We're at school. We're at the gas station. We find out that Seth likes Jules, Evan likes Becca, and that Seth hates Becca, but we don't really know why. So they're in school. They're in separate classes. They go to their like culinary class where they have a shared class, and they have what I'm considering is their like first trial. They're kind of like meeting with the goddess. All three of our characters sort of meet with a female archetype. Basically, we have. Evan and Becca.
Well, no, because Fogel has the thong girl in the hallway.
Fogel has the girl that he can barely even talk to, which is the biggest swing. So yeah, she's like, and they kind of have this similar.
Yeah, that's very.
I've ever heard.
That's very Mean Girls.
Yeah. Never seen it.
Time telling thing. It's October whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
October 3rd.
It is, yeah.
It's 3:38.
Yeah, it's very Mean Girls.
Wednesdays we wear pink. But they're basically like, I never see you at parties. And then Nick, you kind of alluded to this. Evan basically embellishes this story. He takes the truth and makes it what he wants it to be. And then Seth kind of just flat out denies it. He's like, it's in a love-hate relationship. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I hate it.
Right.
And he kind of shuts it down and moves it on. So we kind of get to see like how they react to sort of similar trials here. Which is interesting. We find out later that Fogel is getting a fake ID, and that he also told Nicola what the time was. So he's not even like in the same league, in the same game, in the same anything with this lady. So I think let's see. Later on, Jules invites Seth to a party, which is kind of he's having a successful meeting with her. We find out later that Fogel's getting a fake ID. And that's pretty much the wrap of Act 1. I think we cut to lunch. We get the penis drawing story. If we want to talk about that at all, that's not really hugely important to the plot.
I thought Fogel would be, because they don't introduce you to Fogel fully Like they reference him a lot.
Yeah.
But he's not like he becomes the third musketeer, if you will.
Yeah. He's the third wheel for sure.
Well, once he proves his worth, like he has to prove that he has value to Seth.
Yeah.
Because he has a
don't
fake
tell him
ID.
about the party.
And he was kind of like, he reminded me of Buscemi's character in Big Lebowski.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yes.
Just a worthless punching bag, except for Buscemi never really has that value moment.
Well, he's the best bowler on their team.
Oh, that's
he's the only
true,
one that
that's
anchors
true.
them. So he's like the actual one that's doing and making things possible. It's exact. Wow, that's a perfect.
It's
parallel.
a very similar kind of parallel.
Yeah.
In fact,
and even in the very beginning, he doesn't pick up Fogel for school. He only picks up Evan.
Well,
so
and you
he's
know
like
what?
always an afterthought.
You know
he's
what?
the underdog's underdog.
Goodman in Big Lebowski's kind of like Seth, and Bridges is kind of like Evan. Like it's a very similar.
The chill kind of
Right.
Superbad is the Big Lebowski.
Well, there's parallels. I'm tired of
the Superbad.
Yeah, is yeah.
The Big Bad.
Yeah, so we basically the story really kicks off when Jules invites him to the party. He thinks with this fake ID we can go ahead and get booze for the entire party. He's overselling this like thing because Seth is like not confident in his own person. He thinks he's got to like overprove himself. That's why he's so brash and he acts out and he's so like, you know, high strung or whatever. He's because he's not confident in himself. So he like promises to deliver booze for the entire party. Compare that to Evan just promising one bottle to Becca, which is a lot more reasonable.
Like,
he can't even, he doesn't even finish it up on. But that's like them kind of like agreeing to this journey, right? This is them accepting the quest. It's the call to the action, whatever the thing is. Call to adventure, yeah. So then, like, we find out that he's getting the. Flash forward. I lost my notes. Hold on, sorry. I took so many notes that I'm going through all of it. So basically, he's got the vest on. They're picking him up from work. He's got the ID. Oh, do we want to talk about McLovin at all? Like how they reveal that?
How they reveal that?
Just that he's got the ID and it's like, McLovin's a fake fucking name.
Oh,
That's not,
he's only got one name too. Like he's just McLovin. They
Dude.
said I could pick whatever name I wanted, so I picked McLovin.
landed on
What are you,
McLovin?
Seal?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
So
What
awesome.
name?
So many good
Also,
Even
like
then he's
one of the lines earlier when they're just at like in the first couple scenes when Seth's picking Evan up in the car and the mom like leans down to talk to him, and it's when they're like, "Oh, are you sad you're not going to the same school?" And he tells Seth tells Evan, "So jealous of you that you got to suck on those tits." And Evan's reply is, "Yeah, well, at least you got to suck on your dad's dick." Is insane. Insane writing.
Also, it may be that he doesn't have his dad's divorce, or like maybe he's like he doesn't have a dad in the picture, so maybe it's also telling him a character thing.
Well,
too.
it's
Like,
always
it's
always or seemingly at least in this movie, it's always Evan's house. Which no matter what, there's always a friend whose house you land.
yeah.
on.
There's that designated
Like I was
house,
always
yeah.
the nomad. I was always at other houses because we didn't have an Xbox. Like it wasn't because my house sucked or whatever. It's just like everybody else had Xbox 360s and PS3s, and we did not. So we were always nomading around. So
Yeah.
I felt that. There was a couple scenes, like a couple little things like that. I was like, oh, that's similar to my experience, even though I whiffed all of the school stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you're able to resonate with some of it because
And I
don't want
love
it to just be,
seeing
like,
flip phones.
completely wasted.
Loved seeing
yeah.
flip phones. Like I was just like watching them use their phones and thinking about like T9 texting and stuff.
Yeah, they're like, you got to record this. I'm like, this is the worst video of all time, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's gonna
It's the year
So
the
many
iPhone
pixels.
came out. This came out.
It is. 2007 was the best year of all my 30 years on this earth.
Of all my 30s,
2007 was the best.
was the one.
So many good music,
Yeah.
movies.
Oh, this is another point that
iPhone.
kind of dovetails into. Okay, so they go to change clothes because he doesn't want Jules to see him in the same clothes that he goes to school with because he's wearing cargo pants. But none of the clothes fit him because Evan's so skinny.
We can
So
check
it's
my
like-
dad's clothes.
Yeah, we can check my dad's closet. So this is kind of what were you gonna say, Dick?
I was going to say that button up ruled.
It's a really
Dude,
Yeah, it was a
button
good
up.
outfit.
It was
kinda
Good outfit
Western.
slapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that experience a lot, but in reverse, because my best friend growing up was like 6 foot tall at 14. And so he was an adult large when I was like getting into being an adult small. So it's like if
You
I
always have
ever
a baby
like
gap?
there was no real it was exactly that. Like I got a lot of those jokes from the other end because like there was no real impromptu staying over because there was no compatible clothing at all.
So, I love it.
It's hard being small.
But yeah, so all I was gonna say is like this movie does something a little different. Like the dad's clothes, I just use that as a point to insert that this movie is nostalgic, but not for its own time. Like a lot of these movies that are coming of age, they lean into like the music is from the 70s for like Dazed and Confused, or the music is from the 60s or 50s for American Graffiti. This movie from the very beginning goes decades back and doesn't use any modern like music. There's really not much modern referencing either. A lot of these other movies like American Pie and things like that. Well, that's like what can you do there? But it's not like the music or the references or like the cultural things they were saying were like specific to the era.
I can't believe,
bro, they're playing a PS2 in the movie.
But that's not like.
I thought your point was going to be it's a movie about Seth and Evan's like real life childhood, but they set it in the modern day, which is
that's no. Here's like, go ahead, Nick.
The movie. I can't believe we're getting this deep about Superbad.
This is the worst podcast in the world. This is
just the surface still.
This movie is about their friendship. I think that's where that comes from because they're dealing with having to leave and having to like not be around their best friend. What the hell does that have to
do about when the movie's set?
No, he's just saying it's very nostalgic. Like they are nostalgic in the movie.
What? No. Was that your point?
I'm just saying I think a good choice, kind of like Star Wars using classical music instead of shitty pop synthwave, to decide to use music not from the era. And I think that makes this movie hold up more. That's all I was saying. Obviously you can't fake the technology and stuff like that, but like the overall like narrative storytelling device with the music was not as dated if they'd used it like in modern time. Like if they'd used it like Lil Wayne or something, that would be like, what the fuck?
That's way worse off than using Panama.
Yeah, and I guess
and also Panama slaps. That's a good song.
Yeah. So that was just a change of clothes. Now we're at the grocery store. Seth is going to put it on himself to rob the grocery store when they're picking up Fogel because he doesn't think Fogel's going to go through with it. Seth, of course, bails.
That flash. The daydreaming of all the ways of him getting caught. I think I looked because I was making notes because one of the things I was writing down during that because the dick art thing, they had that montage of him with the dick art, and I thought his therapist was Paul Giamatti for a second, and I was writing that.
I don't remember.
Where is this line even from? Oh,
which one?
But they're at the school. This is one of my favorite lines. It's when Seth is talking to what's her face? Becca.
Jules.
Jules.
Is that his? What's the actress's name?
Emma Stone is Jules.
He's talking to Emma Stone, and she hits him with you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. And he says, well, the funny thing about my back is it's on my cock. Yeah, and that's one of the best lines in the movie. Is that your favorite line?
Killed me, dude.
That's your favorite
because
line?
Because it felt, I don't know why. I think it was after that montage of him like imagining all the things. So my brain was going like, that didn't just happen. He didn't just say that. He's just imagining. And then it was real. And it was just so cringe and hard to watch, but also hysterical.
And there's that line. And
then she just goes...
The flip of that is when Evan's telling Becca that they're going to get all the alcohol. And she's like, get my vodka with gold in it. Which, what?
Yeah. Gold slick.
What? He goes to like fist bump her and he punches her in the tit.
Yeah.
No, someone bumped into him.
And he just wham, and she's like, like
she's walking away. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, and we're glossing over so much shit talking about this dumb plot.
There's so much stuff.
They're talking about the ID, and he's picking his name, and he goes, "It was between McLovin and Muhammad."
Yeah.
Why? Because Muhammad was a common name, and he thought it would fly under. It's the most common name in the world.
People quoting that in high school when the internet came out, they were like, people just had random trivia facts,
that and Muhammad,
and that was one of them that you just heard all the time. And you're just like, okay.
This guy's either gonna think, "Here's another kid with a fake ID," or "Here's McLovin." The 25-year-old Hawaiian organ donor.
Even that line, the organ donor came full circle later.
It's true.
It's like there's so much beautiful like spiraling in this movie. Anyway,
I got one more.
Yeah,
the clothing scene.
Keep it coming.
The clothing scene where they're doing the shirts and Evan's playing the PS2. Mm-hmm. I just saw a TikTok from a guy who, similar to the dude, and actually maybe the same guy, but I don't think it is. There's a dude that whenever there's hockey games in movies, like obscure minor league hockey games, he traces the games.
Nice.
He does it with video games, this guy, and he found that video game that he's playing on the PS2, and it is The Getaway Black Monday. It's a sequel to a game called The Getaway. Some grade A nerds figuring that.
Nice.
Figuring that out.
That's funny.
Close thing in reverse. Oh, the liquor store ID thing. I want to talk about that scene. That is when the movie started to physically hurt me because it was so. I couldn't,
Really?
Yeah. So this is the first movie I've watched at my computer because she's out there coughing.
Oh.
There were scenes, parts of that, especially during like pauses for tension, where I was skipping forward 5 seconds. I did it a lot. I was just arrow keying. Like, I can't handle this stress. And I wrote down... I wrote down, this is the closest I've ever come to not finishing a movie just from the anxiety. Like, it hurt that bad.
Oh my God, we watched Shutter Island
and it was all... Shutter Island is different.
Yeah.
Shutter Island's different because that was, mystery or whatever. And I feel like it's bullshit to call Shutter Island even a thriller, aside from the Block C thing. Like that whole thing was kind of like, all right, the lights or whatever and whatever. But that's not a scary movie.
Yeah.
This though is cringe, and cringe kills me.
Definitely cringe.
As someone who's worked so hard in life to not and has failed to not be cringe. Whenever I see cringe, it's like my body rejecting. Like if you've if you've thrown up tequila and you're like, I can't do tequila anymore because I went too far. That's me with being a cringe person, and now I'm like, I can't. Yeah. So it hurt.
In the 2000s,
I almost shut it off.
called it awkward.
Right. Awkward for sure.
It was rebranded cringe later.
I just can't. I
so
can't.
awkward. Yeah.
So that was killing me.
They're doing the whole thing. They have to get narratively. We have to separate Fogel because really the main plot. There's two plots.
Because they separate Fogel because the liquor store gets robbed.
So we have two we have the A story, which is Seth and Evan's plan B, as in booze, and because Fogel fucks up, and then we have Fogel trying to become McLovin, basically the Urkel to Stefan, to do another dated reference.
I don't get it.
You've never seen Family Matters? Steve Urkel.
Oh,
Steve Urkel.
I know Steve Urkel from the zeitgeist of being alive, but I don't. I've not seen Family Matters.
He has a machine that turns it into. Turns him into a hot person.
It's like Troy and Abed's mystery closet.
Yep.
Which is a ripoff from Patrick and SpongeBob's box. Carl knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's a reference I don't get.
References on deck. So basically, the liquor store gets robbed. The cops are called. The two, Seth and Evan.
Another good line I have.
Keep them coming.
When they're talking to Fogel, when Seth and Bill Hader, I love Bill Hader, by the way, except for in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I hated his character in that show.
But you're supposed to.
But I still like.
I never got that far.
That transcended my hatred of just hating that guy. I was like, I don't like this character being written in the show.
That's fair.
Like it wasn't, I hate this character. It was, I hate that this character's even here. They're talking about. I don't know why they're confiding in Fogel, or maybe it was they're getting the description for the guy and the black lady was not having it. But they said we arrested a man lady who was legally named Fuck. And they're like, with a PH, we think he was Vietnamese, but still.
No, they're talking about McLovin having one name.
That's right. They're talking about McLovin's name. And
another great line when he's like, I'll just fucking cut off your face and wear it, and then he's like, you don't have the technology or the steady hand for a procedure like that, so I guess he won that one, Fogel. Good for you. Like,
and then he gets well, and then Seth, poor guy. This is jumping ahead a little bit because there's a giant gap in my notes where I was just taking in Fogel in a buddy cop movie.
And the cops,
and then Seth and Evan just like bickering and going to the other house party with the Brooklyn Nine-Nine guy. That hit Seth with his car, and I'm just like, Seth is getting the shit kicked out of him in this movie. He gets hit by 2 cars and a baseball bat.
But he's good.
Go on.
He really gets
That's it. What do you mean go on?
Oh, I thought you said he's got. I thought you were making a point.
No, he's good.
Oh, he's good. Yeah,
he can take it.
He takes it. And Okay. No, go ahead.
They're talking about there's this girl that had the biggest tits they've ever seen, and she got a breast reduction. That's where they're going over to see these warlocks. That's why they get separated. When they come back.
Oh, that's when he gets hit by the car, and then they come back.
This is also another good character moment because you see Seth criticize her for not taking for granted a gift from God. These big tits.
Maybe she had back problems.
Yeah,
Evan the practical guy.
He's sympathetic towards it. He's like,
They changed the shape.
Yeah.
Oh, I had another note. I had another note here. Because I think it was here, maybe it was earlier. Hang on, I gotta find it. Oh, I wrote. Keep burping. Miller High Life has come back to bite me. I wrote, "This is hard." This is a quote from me. I wrote, "This is hard because I want to say Jonah Hill's Fat Kid Run is hilarious." But that's exactly the kind of shit that he talks to his therapist about. I'm gonna have to watch Stutz again to heal this memory. Which, please watch Stutz. It's very good.
Yeah, no.
I will.
So many things on the list.
I also wrote down this movie is Carl's Smokey and the Bandit because I think you love it too much.
I literally was going to say that because it's kind of the same goofy story, but I think there might be a little bit more under the hood, or maybe I'm finding more under the hood here just because I'm. Yeah, it's kind of it's just a movie centered around alcohol transportation.
That's exactly what Smokey and the Bandit is.
And it's two best
cops.
friends and cops. Yeah,
but
incompetent cops.
Yeah, I think
Incompetent cops.
Well,
yeah,
Smokey and the Bandit's more of a character movie though.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know any character by their real name. Frog, Snowman,
True. Other call
Bandit,
signs.
Buford T. Justice. We know his real name, but holy crap, he's
Smokey.
Buford T. Justice. This is not a character movie. This is a shit show. I don't even know how to describe it. Like
I'd say it's character driven.
It's the opposite in that. Here's something I'm formulating right now. In Smokey and the Bandit, Bandit is, with little exception, in control of every situation. And not so in this movie. They are flying by the seat of their pants.
This is like a happier version of Inside Llewyn Davis.
Which is a day in the life kind of movie, but we're not focused on
it's
one
very
character.
slice of life Coen Brothers feel, which we did get a Coen Brothers and a Orson Welles reference in this movie.
So
that was kind of fun.
I forget what it was.
I wrote that down.
You peaked early like Orson Welles or something.
He had a hot girlfriend or a hot lady
he got
that
a
gave
couple
him
hand jobs.
two dozen hand jobs and 3/4 of a blowjob, but who's counting?
Yeah.
I love the contradiction of providing an exact measurement and then be like, who's counting?
What do we?
So basically, let's get to the adventure part. Seth gets hit by a car.
Yeah, we're halfway in. We need to hurry
He's quick to jump and take advantage of the situation. You better get us some money or get us some booze, or I'm reporting you. This guy's got a warrant out for a nonviolent crime, so he says. We'll see. He's creepy. He's the guy that's Boyle, or what's his name in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They go with him. This separates our two heroes to allow these two plots to happen. So Vogel is now fully McLovin with the cops doing their own thing, and and at this point they all go through trials, right? They're all on their adventure. They're all in an unfamiliar territory. They go to this this like intermediate party to pick up the booze, and Vogel goes like an arrest. They go and like do cop calls at a bar, and he like tackles the guy, and they give him beer, and they start shooting guns, and so Vogel's got all this good stuff happening to him, or he's proving himself as McLovin. They're letting him, yes-anding him onto this bit. He's becoming the guy that he sees himself as, basically. Let's see.
Well, he's becoming the guy he sees himself in. Evan is like actually fulfilling. He learns that what he wants isn't what he really wants.
Yes.
Like once he gets it, and then Seth never gets what he wants. It's a very interesting like. Vogel's the only guy that wins.
At each point, they kind of show they break everybody out and kind of show them like interacting with these sort of So McLovin. Let me see. The weird guy gets kicked in the nuts. Seth is like, whatever, we got. I would die for pussy. And Evan's like, I want to bail. I don't like this.
Evan's me,
I would literally die.
Evan's me.
McLovin tackles the guy. He's off to his own thing. He's shooting guns. He's having nothing but fun. Seth dances with this woman at the party, right? He's meeting with the goddess of fertility.
Right.
So he pays the price in blood, and then he's quickly ridiculed and mocked. But it kind of, it's like this immediate, like he thinks he's getting the world, right? He's like in the center of the party. Everything's going the way he wants it to, but it's quickly contrasted with this. And that resonated with me because I've had a similar Stain situation where I was mocked and ridiculed in middle school.
No.
What?
Yeah, that's another story for another time. I was finally led into the cool kids. They put a brownie in my chair. I sat on it, and everyone was like, "What'd you shit in your pants?" It was not great. And to this day, anytime I leave a public bathroom, I check my shirt for brownie and shit, just in case. It has fucked me up. So I really resonated with that. So anyway, Evan is trying to call Becca. He's trying to live the party that he wants to live. It's bad. So Evan is trapped in the wrong. He's trapped with these people. He goes to this room and he's alone and confined and pressured. And he's trapped with the wrong crowd, which mirrors his relationship with Seth. He feels like he's been holding him back. How are we doing on time?
We're at 45 minutes. We need to.
Okay, shit. Okay, so the fight breaks
Go a
out. The
little
cops
quicker.
are called. Claude and the crew intercept. The cops run into Seth.
Well,
Seth
we've
and
gotten through
Evan.
all the hard part of the plot because
Yeah.
really at the end,
Basically-
it's
basically they reunite because the lady calls a cop on them. There's a fight that breaks out, and they're all together, and they run to the actual party where like they're kind of they have this like final test kind of thing. Seth is like welcomed with warm arms. He goes into the party like Seth's
he's a
here.
hero.
He's got like Tupperwares.
He gets what he wants. He's a hero.
He's
But
got
he-
Tupperwares or
He gets
what
the
are they?
notoriety.
Laundry detergents.
Yeah,
Yes.
he gets the notoriety, but he doesn't get the girl, and he wants
Yes.
the
I was
I was gonna
notoriety.
say, but then he screws it up.
But
Well,
he does, but
sort
he
of.
doesn't because they do get him at the end.
Yes.
Sure.
But that's like at the end of the very end of the circle. So like when he has that like final meeting with her, it fails. And then like you have him like the last like perfect like dichotomy, I guess, is you have Seth at the center of attention, loving the party, and Evan, who finds out that Becca's been drinking this whole time. There's the moral conundrum of like, if I'm not drunk and she is
good
that
for
bad?
him.
And he spends the entire party alone in a bathroom, having a terrible time drinking, trying to like get even
he
the playing
can't-
field with her.
he can't even get it
justify
down.
it. Yeah, he can't do it. He doesn't like it. And then he kind of, he does what a decent person would do and kind of like shoves her. I love the whole time when she's like trying to make out with him and suck his dick. He's like, "You're so pretty. You're so unique." And I'm like, she's like, "How bad do you want to fuck me right now?" And he's like, "Jesus Christ."
And then she just pukes on the bed, and he's
She pukes, like, "Get Gabby." He's like, "Getting Gabby." So, nothing really goes as planned except for Fogel, who has fully become Fogel again. He shed the alter ego of McLovin. He goes back up to Nicola, who he could barely talk to
the
before,
cop
and is
reveal.
dancing with her. Yes.
the cop reveal. I didn't see it coming.
Me either.
And I was like, man, these are simultaneously the worst and best cops.
Yeah. Explain the reveal.
So at the end,
people?
they basically reveal because they end up cock blocking McLovin. They break up the party, and that's really our moment of reconciliation between Seth and Evan, because Evan is for some reason or another knocked out. I don't really remember why, or passed out. And Seth,
just drunk.
Seth is carrying him through the bushes away from the cops because they've now, this is the second party that's been
Yeah.
broken up with them at by the same cops
Yeah.
with McLovin in
been
tow
really
both
busy
times.
tonight. Yeah.
McLovin's upstairs getting his freak on with the foreign exchange student girl. Which is that the same girl from the school hallway at the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
I
It
think
is.
so, yeah.
Okay, so this is Thong Lady,
Nicola.
that he told the
Yeah.
time
Black
to.
thong.
And
We told her the time all right.
the cops make it upstairs to break the rest of the party up, and they realize it's McLovin, and then they have like a final heart to heart of like, hey, we knew that you weren't underage the whole time, but we figured we'd let you like kind of culminate your high school experience by not ruining your night, basically. So they're heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're the worst
But
police ever.
Terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
They set
And
their car on fire.
I loved that. Well, yeah, because they're, qualified immunity, baby.
Yeah.
No, I loved that duo of Rogan and Bill Hader.
Oh, it's perfect.
You know what normally
That's another
bothers
thing
me
I want.
about
What's up?
Seth Rogen
His laugh.
is his laugh.
But
and
I loved the laugh.
He doesn't laugh that much.
I didn't think it was
another
that
great
bad in
line.
this movie.
No, it's not that bad.
It hadn't developed into
Yeah.
the
I
Seth
can't even
Rogen.
imitate it because it'd
Yeah,
be
I
bad.
know.
But it's a good
There's
laugh.
another great line that I thought of you, Cameron. He was like, "Do you remember Yoda from Attack of the Clones?"
Oh yeah.
It's like of all the places, he's trying so hard to meet him where he is. And I was like, that might be
Attack of
the
the
only
Clones.
like actual pop culture reference that dates this movie that's like in the script.
What?
Like nothing else is
5 years
What year-
after
I was
Attack of the
gonna say,
Clones
when
came
did
out.
it-
2002 was Attack of the Clones.
so funny though. Remember Yoda from Attack of the Clones? Like, it's stupid.
Bill Hader's face of satisfaction when McLovin
he's-
unloads into the cop car. He's just like, it's very good.
God, the movie, the casting of this movie is perfect. The performances are, outstanding. Like the dialogue it's perfectly written. It's an airtight script, and the pacing, like nothing is really said that doesn't forward the plot or like give you some character information. I don't think. Like even the porn stuff, it's like, well, that tells you about the history of their relationship and stuff. You're giving me some weird faces,
They're
like
best.
I'm making some stupid points.
It's
but
a movie.
whatever. I like it a lot. Anyway,
Oh god.
oh man.
I wish I had seen this movie when I was like 15. I feel like I would have a way different.
It feels exactly like I remember high school being. It's like the way they talked, the way that like what we talked about was needlessly crude and just awful stuff, and like
that's what's killing me. I have no frame of reference. I have none.
Yeah,
my only favorite, my closest thing. So I went to college as a dual enroll student at 15. So that's when I went to college.
Yeah,
don't do that to your kids.
Yeah,
dual enrolling, nope. Unless you've got like, I don't know, some brain genius kid. But you know what? Actually, leave him in high school so he can be bullied more and doesn't turn into Elon Musk.
Yeah. The movie basically
the closest thing I had was like,
Nope.
group projects in college, and in one of them I did the paper portion because I was like, whatever, I'm a nerd, I'll write. And it was two moms that I was teamed up with because I went to a community college, and one of them offered to get me alcohol as a favor, and I was like, no, I don't.
I've seen this movie. I don't know.
Goody two shoes, 16-year-old me was like, which I kind of stand by that. I shouldn't have had alcohol at 16. Crazy movie.
Man. It basically Auntie carries him home. They profess each other's. They like, I love you, man. They like
boops him on the nose. I love it. That's my favorite part.
I want to stand on the roof and shout how much I love my best friend.
Yeah, and then you compare that to the very beginning when they couldn't even be serious about like not even.
They really cross the threshold.
To sleep. Yeah, they really do. They grow, and then it starts off with them just the typical like sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and ends with this like profound acceptance and confession of love. So it's like a nice.
It's a good
little full circle there. Good hero's journey.
It's a pretty good movie. I'll say I didn't love it because I had nothing to draw upon. I had no school experience, and I missed the boat in age to watch this movie by about 13 years.
Just missed it.
And those cannot be knocks on the movie, so I refuse to let them be. But I thought it was funny. Albeit awkward. Now, what I want to...
that's kind of why I wanted to break down some of the story circle stuff to show that this is also a decent story. Like, it's not just a bullshit movie. Hopefully that was trying to meet you halfway there.
I did read a review.
I guess, and it's also worth noting, too, that, like, the movie totally ends with them in the mall. They kind of have this final meeting with, like... They
split again.
In so many words.
They each take the girl, and one goes up the escalator, and one goes down, and it's kind of a... Because they're going to different colleges anyway.
It's bittersweet, but it's kind of it's hopeful. It's like optimistic, but a grounded optimistic. So
it's interesting. Interesting movie for sure.
Yeah, it's not like Ferris Bueller's Day Off where it's ridiculous and another somebody else out there knows what I'm talking about. Yeah. But I think that's basically it. I mean, I had some other favorite quotes, or did y'all have any other quotes you want to sprinkle in there?
I don't know if I had any more quotes.
I had one more, and it was whenever they were talking about the dicks. When he's drawing dicks growing up, and he's like, it affects like 8% of the population. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But no, he goes, they literally stopped me from eating foods that were shaped like dicks. No hot dogs, no popsicles. You know how many foods are shaped like dicks? The best kinds.
And then Michael Cera just goes,
Yeah.
Right. I love all nothing is really said as a joke. It's said as like authentically as it can.
They're really
There's a lot of sincerity in this movie. In the awkwardness, there's a lot of sincerity. I had you don't want girls to think you suck dick at fucking pussy. What a sentence.
That's insane.
What a sentence.
Insane.
Such a good one.
Should have given a warning for our moms not to listen to
that. Oh my God.
My last quote I had
go ahead.
Is before you wrap yours up is at the very end, or right before the very end, they're at the mall, or maybe it is the very end, I don't remember. Seth's trying jeans on, and he's in too skinny of jeans, and he's like doing all these poses, and Seth just kept saying, I'm just like, I wish there were more pants where there aren't, is what he was saying. Like being like, I need you to wear bigger jeans so that I don't have to see your ass this much, but I just am wishing there were more pants where there just aren't. That's
he's like the camel toe, and he's like, I know where it happens.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
What was the dude camel toe? It was the camel snake?
He called it a camel tail.
Camel tail.
Yeah.
Snake.
Oh, man.
Know.
So another one when camel snake. Oh
we got there.
When Becca's drinking and she's trying to get Evan to drink, and he's like, to respecting of all women. She's like, okay.
Man.
Wait, I
He
do.
finds out that they're rooming together, and he's like, "We never should have had to hide our arrangement." That's just so many
good.
great
We do
little
gotta talk
lines.
about-
I love it.
Evan having to sing to the room full of people doing coke.
I skipped
God,
most of
yeah.
that scene.
Meant to-
because
What?
I couldn't take it.
Oh my
It was-
god.
you gotta rewatch. It is so
Unbelievable.
funny. It's so because it's kind of he reacts the same way he did to when Becca was asking him about like you don't party. He embellished. He's like, yes, and I will sing. Like he's like I'm cornered. I'm gonna get out
commits.
of it somehow.
And then they're all
doing
singing
the boom,
along.
boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
No, it's good. I didn't skip the whole scene. I fast forwarded
Yeah.
a bit to where I fast forwarded
Yeah.
to where the whole room was into it, and I was like, all right, this didn't go.
Yeah.
Poorly.
Who's
I
this
gotta
guy?
say,
It's like, hey.
I think the cops and McLovin were my favorite part of this movie.
Yeah,
It's so of course
Over Evan and Seth. Of
course.
Freaking
they're so
Bill
good.
Hader
Love
knocking
it all.
on the door at the party, and they open up the door. He's like, "Oh no, the cops!"
Oh, it's the
That killed
cops.
me.
So good.
So good.
reckless
The
use of
cops and
firearms,
McLovin are
yeah.
unbelievable.
Should I shoot him? No. We don't want that much paperwork.
When they get the road beers and he's like, we're not going to be able to pay for any of this. Like,
Yeah,
to the
you gotta
bartender,
go.
and the bartender's like,
So good.
What's funny is I didn't know that this was written by Seth Rogen or that he was even involved with the movie. And immediately when I saw Jonah Hill, Michael Cera at the beginning of the movie, I was like, I know Seth Rogen's going to pop up. He's just always in these movies.
Yeah.
And then it was, about him.
I kind of missed this whole wave of comedies growing up because they were all rated R, and I was all
Same.
I was 13, 12 or 13.
Same.
You know,
It's nice too that they had like the time to kind of sit with it and then kind of retroactively kind of insert things into the script when they had like an understanding of like, oh, this is why we were acting this way because we didn't realize the circumstances at the time. But having the time to look back on it, I think that was really beneficial for the script. I think I've exhausted what I have to say.
yeah, you need to take an exhale or
made my
something,
point.
man. Jesus Christ.
I was so frantic. I was like, I got one day to write down everything I can write down about this, and I
write
want to
less.
leave it into the story circle somehow.
I love the detail that Carl went to, and I'm over here just like, man, the dick jokes were funny.
Well, that's the thing. This movie, it works on so many levels. It's funny on the surface, and you can also find. I think it holds up because of the story structure. So it's got, it's not just
Holds
a
up,
dumb.
Yeah, there's a real story there.
It holds up to in part
Yeah.
just because of who the cast is.
And the
what
pacing
they
is really
became.
good.
The
Yeah.
pacing is perfect. It is such good pacing for a movie.
Yeah.
There's really, there's not much fluff.
It's,
the story kind of boom, 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 boom.
It's pretty smart for a profoundly stupid movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of where I'm at.
It
with
knows what it's doing. Yeah.
It does, and it's really good at doing what it set out to do. Almost better than other movies in the same genre. Like this is a better movie.
I think so for
and a
sure.
smarter movie than
Like-
the other guys.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? Like this movie does a good job.
I was thinking of The Nice Guys. Never mind. I was
No,
like,
no.
I like The Nice Guys. Yeah.
So no, I think there's a lot to be said good about this movie, and I think that we've said a lot. And I think
Do you think Danielle would have liked it past
Hell
that
no.
opening scene?
Listen, if there was-
Absolutely not.
If there was one movie
that's
where it
another-
should just be the three of us, it
This
was
is that
This is
movie.
probably it.
I went out. I stopped.
I didn't know if she
a movie
would
for
like
the
the
boys.
romance parts of it at all. Or if that would redeem it.
No.
The
Because
romance
there's
Even the
parts.
women, I will say, this is the last thing I swear to God. Even the women are
I don't
not
believe you.
cookie cutters. They're not like she. You have Jules, who's like self-possessed, doesn't drink. We find out in the movie she doesn't drink. She's kind of like. She respects herself, and then you have, in contrast to that, you have Becca, who's shit-faced.
You would
it's
have
like,
needed.
It's not as like,
You would have needed Jules to be the second main character of two in order to get Danielle to like this movie, and Becca would
Okay,
not
yeah.
have made it. Like it's just not. Danielle was, it's just a different kind of high school culture than Danielle even had too. I paused this movie after 20 minutes and went out into the living room and said, "You would have hated this movie. Like you are lucky." We did not. You're not watching this because, and Carl's really lucky because she would have just shit on it for an hour or sat over there in the empty chair that no one can see because I changed the cameras. Just bummed out the whole time for an hour. So, but yeah, there you go. Superbad. Let's give it a
Super
rating.
good.
Let's give it a rating. It's time for a rating. Let's pick a song for the rating. Let's
hit,
do
mid, or miss.
this one. All right. Hit, mid, or miss. Carl, it's your movie. You can go first.
it's a hit for me.
It's a hit for
I don't know
you,
what else I
Nick.
can say.
It's a hit for me.
It's a hit for Nick. I'm going to give it a begrudging hit. Because I kind of want to give it a miss, but that's not fair to the movie. It's a miss because of my my just total whiff on high school culture.
Yeah.
And meeting in the middle with mid, just fully
no,
swapping.
I'm just gonna go with hit because I think it kind of deserves it. Because I had fun. I had fun with the second and third act a lot. I think the first act didn't really land, but hey, that's a banger. You know, suck it, Danielle. You're not here, and that's a banger without you. So hey, that's kind of it. We got to watch another one.
We got to watch.
I'm trying to wrap up because hey, we've been talking for an hour, and it is 5 million degrees in here.
Yes, it is.
It is super
Why
hot.
we didn't open the window, I don't know.
Well, you know, you really want to know why? Because that window, we would be screaming directly into my neighbor's bedroom.
Oh, they love it. They watch the show anyways, I'm sure.
Nope. Profoundly weird gentleman lives over there. Very strange guy. Drives a Kia. On that note,
That's all you need to know.
That's a qualifying factor.
just a fact. He drives a Kia.
Yeah. That's all I know about him.
On that note, we're gonna watch Ever After
A Cinderella Story.
some crap. I don't know. Maybe it'll be great.
Silly Drew Barrymore.
I don't like Drew Barrymore.
Nope.
Didn't like
I don't
her
have a strong
50 First
opinion.
Dates. I think she is too touchy with her guests on her talk show.
Never seen that.
It's
My only exposure to her is in
There's
Donnie
only-
Darko.
look up the memes about her talk show. She gets really like on the floor on her knees and like grabs both of their hands, and it's like that's Oprah.
Do the
Can you
guests
get-
like it, or
Yeah,
do the guests
I don't know.
freak out?
I think the guests have to kind of. I think there was one guest that famously like gave her the business last year or something or 2 years ago.
Good for them.
Drew Barrymore is also a scab.
There's only one female talk show
Gab?
host that matters, and that's Kelly Clarkson.
That's true. She's a scab. She crossed the picket line during the writer's strike.
Oh.
She tried to, and they got so much backlash that she did not resume filming her show. So, Drew Barrymore's a scab. And her TV's too small, too. She had that picture she
Tiny
posted.
TV.
Oh, yeah, I
She's
saw
got
that
a really
picture.
small
That was
TV.
funny.
Also, she was like, I didn't watch the video because I don't care, but she was crying because the wedding singer was on and she was in it and watching it, and that made her cry.
She forgot she was an actor.
And she's like, oh my God, that's
Actress.
me. And so, I don't get it. Whatever.
How did I get on there?
It must have been like, oh, what a time in my life. But like,
Maybe 50 First Dates was a biography, and she just doesn't remember.
she doesn't remember. 51st Dates is an overrated movie that I'm not a big fan of. So we're going to watch Ever After, I guess, and try not to kill ourselves. And we'll catch y'all in the next one, hopefully with Danielle back from illness.
Yep.
Go Packers. See y'all.